Well, it's only one day late, and I'm sorry about that. Sir Owen Disney here, and it is Wednesday afternoon, actually. The very definition of afternoon. It is a little bit after 4:30, and I am giving you your Raw recap now. Now, I watched this early this morning, and I kind of wanted to relax a little bit today. Ended up going out and checking on glasses, and that didn't go anywhere. Went to Red Lobster. That was awesome. And basically, I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to take it easy today, because this has been my only day off in a bit, actually. I have worked every day since Saturday. I know that's not a lot. Some of you probably work a lot more than I do. But it's taking its toll. So I'm kind of tired, so that's the reason why I did not do the Raw recap last night. And I gave you guys the NXT video a day early, so we pretty much just flip-flopped them around. And I'm sorry about that, and we should go back to normal next week. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with tomorrow's video yet. I guess I'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Because after I get off work tomorrow, I'm actually getting off at 5:30, and we're going to Long John Silver's, of course, and we're going to watch Sabotage. Because obviously, this Raw was a really great commercial for Sabotage. And after Sabotage, I'm going to come back here and we're going to, I'll shoot something for you guys, but I'm not exactly sure what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Halloween Horror Nights, maybe? Don't know. Possibly. Could be. We'll see what happens. So, a little housekeeping before we get started. I do want to say right now that I have now tasted every flavor of the Mountain Dew Kickstart, and they're all awesome. And I recommend them to people that not necessarily are fans of energy drinks, but people that want something different. And they're all enjoyable. So if you get a chance to check those out, do so. They have fruit punch, they have orange citrus, they have limeade, and they have black cherry. And they're all really good. Now, the first ones I just mentioned, fruit punch and citrus, are supposedly the AM ones, like the ones that literally kickstart your day. And according to the gimmick, the black cherry and the limeade are the PMs, which are kickstarting your night. So I don't know how that exactly works, but they taste awesome, and they're great, and they're cheap, so that's good enough for me. Now, we haven't gotten any new Halloween Horror Nights news since the dates were announced. There was a post that somebody supposedly got in their email that links a couple IPs that we could see at the event this year. I don't know how that is being a realistic situation, not sure, but I guess we'll find out when we get there. And very soon, very, very soon, it is the 26th of this month right now. It's the 26th of March. We're about entering into April, which means next Tuesday is April 1st. Two main reasons to be happy about that. Number one, next Tuesday is April 1st, which means it's my mom's birthday, so that's awesome. And April 1st is also the annual Dr. Jimmy Reveal All video of Halloween Horror Nights 24. So I'm really excited to see where that's going to go this time around. And more speculation coming when we get more in-depth about the event. And I'm sure you guys and girls out there that are Horror Nights fans are enjoying those videos, because I've heard a lot from you guys and girls out there, and I want to thank you all for watching those. And like I said, we're over 30,000 views now, and that's a pretty good situation given the fact that we're not even 2 years of the channel yet, so needless to say, I think we've done pretty well for ourselves. Now, that being said, airfare is kind of biting me right now, because it jumped like $70 overnight, and I'm hoping it goes back down. I don't know for sure what's going on. There are 3 options of airfare this year, and I would say right now the main option would be Columbus through Southwest. Second place would be Charleston through United, and third place, the dead last, of course, Parkersburg through United as well. I like Southwest because it's, number one, I don't have to pay for baggage, and I can get a non-stop flight. And, I don't like having to change planes in a different airport. I just want to get to Orlando and be home again. I don't want to worry about anything. But sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. I guess we'll find out where that's going to go when we get more information. So, we've got that coming down the pike right now. I got to work tomorrow. Like I said, after tomorrow, going to watch Sabotage and then come back here, shoot a video for Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to be watching Noah. So Noah and Sabotage are going to be on the video. And AJ is actually going to be talking about The Immigrant and Snowpiercer as well. There are 5 videos being talked about on the AJ's movie review video for this week. So 5 movies will be talked about. That's coming up. A brand new Versus. And that's going to be entertaining. That's coming up on Sunday. And I think Saturday will probably end up being SmackDown, to be totally honest. I may just shoot that Friday after we get done filming. So, that being said, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Like I said, we're only a day late. It's not that bad, right? So, Stephanie McMahon comes out and she says, Daniel Bryan won't be here tonight. Just chant as loud as you want. Doesn't really matter. Fact remains, he's not going to be here. He's not medically cleared. Which pretty much pulls the wool over everyone's eyes because they were saying, Michael Cole even pretty much went on record saying it was just kind of a separation of the shoulder and he will return to weekend events, which he did, and he would return on Raw Monday night, which he did not for some reason. They're holding him back off television. I don't know how smart this is given the fact that it is now a week before WrestleMania. So, this week's Raw coming up on Monday night is literally the Raw go-home show for WrestleMania. So something big is going to happen on this show. And the events of what happens on March 31st Monday Night Raw and April 4th SmackDown will shape the official WrestleMania card. Right now, we have a huge card that I'm going to run down later on this evening. But let's talk about it right away. So, basically, everybody said that we went too far last week. Well, we just simply wanted to send a message. The message being, insubordination, it will not be tolerated. Now, he basically looks, she looks at the crowd and says, you know what, people like you, referring to the WWE Universe, they need to be led. And she says it's a foregone conclusion that not only will Daniel Bryan be defeated by Triple H will go on to once again become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. This prompts the actual WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the one that's the afterthought in the storyline, Randy Orton, to come out. And basically he says, you know what, I can't be held responsible for what's going to happen at WrestleMania. So, I'm just going to give you an out right now. Triple H could leave a winner if he gets by Daniel Bryan. Of course, Stephanie has to correct him. It's like, no, when he gets by. Okay, fine, I'll play your games. When he gets by Daniel Bryan, Triple H can leave a winner. How about we don't do this clause that the winner of the match gets into the main event at WrestleMania 30? Well, this brings out Batista. Great segment, by the way, given the fact that everybody involved in this is a heel, and the fans let him have it. Batista came out, he says, you know what, you guys are missing the point here. I'm the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It's written in the stars. I'm going to walk out with the championship. And of course he throws out his Steve Polychronopoulos line yet again and says, deal with it, numerous times. Well, his mic starts cutting out when he was doing that. And Stephanie holds his feet to the fire on it and basically says, you might want to repeat what you said because your mic was kind of cutting out. You want a real mic that actually works? And Batista says, you know what? I respect Hunter. But I'll state another fact. He's never beaten me. And he's not going to beat me. Neither of you will beat me. And basically, this is when Batista tried to turn the crowd on his side, which of course failed miserably. He basically says that all Randy Orton does is just stand out and drool on Stephanie. And basically, he says, I'm pretty sure that Steph's been drooled on before. A lot. Stephanie goes to speak again, and bam! Slaps Dave right across the face. Randy Orton laughs maniacally on the side, and Batista with the body check, which I refuse to call a spear because we have someone that actually knows how to do a spear in WWE now, and that's Roman Reigns. So the body check, of course, rips his pants, which are, of course, the way, way too tight skinny jeans. And apparently he's getting a lot of heat in the locker room right now because of that factor, and the fact that he got embarrassed on national television with his pants ripped. So, yeah, that was the end of that segment. Interesting, because you put a segment with 3 heels, no babyface interaction at all. And it was really an interesting way to start off Raw, to be totally honest. I will say right now that it may not have been the right thing to do to start off Raw. There's nobody the fans could cheer for in this. And even Batista trying to turn the crowd on his side and making fun of Stephanie, it didn't work. So, there's always that. I should have got something to drink before I started this. Opening contest. 4 corners match to determine who will be facing off against Big E on main event the night after, which was last night, for the Intercontinental Championship. It's Christian, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, and Alberto Del Rio. This match was good. Very enjoyable match, actually. We'll pick it up after the commercial break here. Whip in, reverse charges in, catches the back elbow. He charges in, and again, elevator down. Dolph gets tossed up in the air, and Del Rio watches him crash hard to the mat. Sheamus pulls Del Rio out before he can get the advantage, and hits the Finley roll on the floor. Christian attacks from behind. Sheamus picks him up into the over-the-shoulder power slam. Christian shimmies down the back and posts him into the ring post. Goes up top. Flying body press on Dolph. This time, a roll through, and 1-2, and a kick out. So, a clothesline. 2 stomps. And basically a big right hand. He steps on Dolph's head. Rolls him over, 1-2, and a kick out. So, he knees him in the midsection. Tosses him over the top rope like yesterday's garbage. Practice for the Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, of course. Sheamus comes in, axe handle, charging shoulder into the corner, and the high knee lift. Del Rio charges in. He gets caught with the Irish Curse backbreaker. Christian gets tossed over the top rope by Sheamus, and Del Rio gets caught with the clubbing blows. Sheamus goes up top, and Dolph catches him with the Z-Factor off the top, 1-2, and a kick out. Charges into the corner and leaps up for the 10 punch on Christian. Reverse neck breaker off of it. Del Rio tries to take advantage with the GSK, and of course, Dolph ducks it, exclamation point DDT, 1-2, and a kick out. So, Christian snaps Dolph upper back first across the top rope. Boot in the midsection, and Dolph goes for the name dropper, gets countered into a sit-out powerbomb. Del Rio kicks him in the back of the head and breaks up the count. So, Sheamus makes the save this time. Double leg, goes into the cloverleaf, and they fight with it, and eventually he finally turns over Del Rio. Christian gets caught with a slam by Sheamus. He sets up, that's not even a word. He sets up for the brogue kick, and he gets caught with a stiff kick to the ribs. Del Rio uses momentum to go into the cross arm breaker, and that gets countered into a side bomb, and this also is stopped by Sheamus getting nailed with a zigzag from Dolph, and Christian, the opportunist he is, pulls the kill switch on Dolph, rolls him over, 1-2-3, and Christian is now the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, interestingly enough, I'm not recapping main event on this show, but I will say this. The match never happens. The match never happens because Christian apparently, either work or shoot, got a concussion. I'm guessing it's probably a shoot because they literally replaced him from the match. So what did main event do? They did a 3-way with Alberto Del Rio, Dolph Ziggler, and Sheamus. Winner would face Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. Dolph wins. And Dolph faced Big E, and Big E ended up beating Dolph. So it was really nice to see, obviously, given the fact that Big E started out as the heavy for Dolph Ziggler, and now they're on steady ground together, so that works really well. And there was, of course, mutual respect after the match was over. So, interesting to see where we go with this. Does that mean Christian is going to be taken out of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal because of a potential concussion? I guess that remains to be seen. Then, of course, next we get, excuse me, a Wyatt interruption. Bray Wyatt singing he's got the whole world in his hands. And he proceeds with this. People don't usually believe in things they cannot see or they cannot touch. It is human nature after all. But in the case of Cena, we all see him. How can you possibly miss these billboards and infomercials being shoved down your throats every day? We see you. But what was I wondering? What? Have you ever taken the time to see me for what I really am? I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal pain. I am the way to go beyond the laws, beyond time. I stand. I wanted to ask you, John, what could you possibly do to harm something that just can't feel? And then Harper, of course, has to throw his 2 cents in. He says, I can hear you whispering, John, and now we're coming to find you. Run. Once again, this program with John Cena against the Wyatt family, it has grown exponentially awesome as we have progressed throughout this WrestleMania season. And I truly believe that Bray is going to get the rub of a lifetime when he beats John Cena at WrestleMania. I'm going to say it right now. I think Bray Wyatt wins at WrestleMania. Because I think what we do this week, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, what happened this week is going to be one thing, obviously. What's going to happen on the Go Home show in DC, in Batista's hometown, mind you, this Monday on Raw is going to be when John Cena gets the upper hand. John Cena getting the upper hand would mean that you would think Bray Wyatt's going to go over at WrestleMania. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I think it's probably a good bet at this point. So, of course, we're promoting the Scooby-Doo WrestleMania movie, which I've watched, and it's not bad. It's actually available now, currently. And was available like a month ago. That's the reason I watched it. Sin Cara, of course, is a star, because when this movie was made, Sin Cara and Brodus Clay were going to be stars, apparently. Yeah, that didn't work out too well, did it? So, Sin Cara comes out in the Mystery Machine, accompanied to the ring by Scooby-Doo, who is basically the same Scooby-Doo that you probably would have met in Paramount's Kings Island back in the day. And he's not coming out to his own music. He's coming out to the new Scooby theme. And the thing about that is, that's fine. But the continuity stops there because the blue mood lighting has returned. And he's facing off against Damien Sandow, who seems like to be the... You know, honestly, I would think the best comparison to Damien Sandow right now would be Samson. Not my boy Jock Samson. I would say no, Samson. Samson and Delilah, because once you cut his hair, you ended his power. Sandow hasn't been the same since he cut the hair. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now, to be honest. But he tries to go to work right away. 4 shoulder blocks in the corner, repeated boots in the corner, and basically he charges in, he misses, and Sin Cara gets backdropped over the top rope, lands on the ring apron, catches Sandow with a forearm, springboard into a headbutt, and he ducks the clothesline and 180 crossbody. Ducks the clothesline yet again, and satellite head scissors take over, whip in reverse, catches the handspring back elbow, 1-2 and a kick out, and he ends up catching Sandow with a leaping kick and the Senton bomb, and that is the end of the match. I understand why it was there. It was there to promote the Scooby-Doo movie, but yeah, other than that, it didn't really have a place on this Raw, to be honest. I'll just throw that out there. Speaking of things that don't have a place on this Raw, we had a tag team match next with Los Matadores taking on Curtis Axel and Ryback, and I'm telling you right now, I still do not like the Los Matadores gimmick. I won't. And you can give me Primo and Epico as a tag team. That's fine. No problems with that. Make them the Colognes again. But no, they have to do this gimmick. They basically got their gear from a Tito Santana yard sale. So, and that's no disrespect to Primo and Epico, because I like Primo and Epico. But I don't like this Los Matadores gimmick. I don't think it works, and I hope it ends after WrestleMania is over. So there's a snap Rana on Axel. Chop in the corner, whip in, ducks the clothesline, leapfrog dropkick, you know, the Mr. Perfect special. And here comes the Shield. Of course, they want to get some retribution for getting laid out on SmackDown, which we talked about a couple days ago. And this allows Axel to roll up from behind, 1, 2, 3. Ryback comes in the ring. The Shield pretty much eye their prey. They're on 3 sides of the ring. And, of course, Ryback and Axel don't know which way they're going to go. And the Shield hit the ring. Roman pulls Axel out of the ring, and he ends up hip-tossing him into the barricade. Roman gets back in the ring, spears Ryback, and they triple powerbomb him. To the boos of the crowd. Crowd wasn't into the Shield tonight. It's really weird. Because the Shield are being played up as baby faces, like monster baby faces now. And this Brooklyn crowd did not want to cheer for the Shield at all. They're actually cheering against the Shield. And in the main event in the show, they actually did cheer against the Shield. So, of course, every Wednesday, Triple H and Michael Cole sit down on .com and they have themselves a good old-fashioned fireside chat. Well, you know, they decided to do it live on Raw, so they set the record straight in front of a live television audience, obviously. So, Daniel Bryan wanted the game. Triple H didn't want it to happen, but Daniel Bryan and the fans, they kind of forced him into it. They made Triple H a competitor again. Bryan got what he deserved. Now the fans and Daniel Bryan themselves, they'll cry all about it. You know, whatever happened to these fans? You know what, I used to do dirty, mean, horrible, despicable things to people. And the fans, I look in their eyes and I saw the same lust for success that I had. They were strong. They were all about fighting the system. How appropriate, Triple H fighting something that he now is. Now, I see pathetic, soft people with nothing but apathy. You know what? I'm sick of it all. I'm going to put it on myself to change the future. Maybe I'm going to start a new era. I'm going to start the reality era. And my reality is this. At WrestleMania, I will end Daniel Bryan and his so-called run at the top. I will cease the pathetic yes movement, and when I'm done, no one will stop me from becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion again. And you know it will happen because I have the power to make it happen, and you know it's true. Really awesome promo from Triple H. It was nice to see the cerebral assassin return instead of Mr. Corporate Suit. I said numerous times here on Raw, SmackDown, even when he's on NXT, it's been a couple of times, I want the authority to end after WrestleMania. I think there is no reason for it to continue after WrestleMania, and as far as I'm concerned, I think that an authority figure of any kind needs to be completely gone from WWE programming after April 6th. And I think that's the right direction to go. Because it's run its course. They've screwed everyone. They've screwed Daniel Bryan. They had the Shield do their dirty work. This is done. Once Bryan gets his revenge and wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30, that is the end of this storyline. The book closes. There's no room to go further. And as a matter of fact, I don't want to see a McMahon on my television again for a long time. I like Stephanie. I like Triple H. But, you know, the authority has run its course. And I think this is the end, honestly. And I think it should be the end. So we get our next match. Now, if you remember me talking about the absolute catastrophe that was Fandango and Goldust from last week, which is great because the version of SmackDown I watched actually replayed the match. Great timing, Sky Sports. So we get this match. It's Fandango and Cody Rhodes. Of course, this is playing up the fact that Cody was kind of making eyes at Summer Rae last week, and yeah, that kind of didn't go the right way. Well, Goldust, of course, is at ringside for this match. This match wasn't bad. I'd like to see these two go at it a little bit longer. So Cody catches Fandango with a drop toe hold and puts his feet in his shoulders and rolls him into a pinning predicament, 1-2, and a kick out. Whip in reverse, tip up, sunset flip, and it stopped. A big stomp and nice slingshot leg drop from Fandango. Makes a cover 1-2, and Cody kicks out. So he locks on the backhammer, snap suplex out of it, 1-2, and a kick out. Backhammer yet again, and Cody punches his way out this time. Catches with a big right hand, comes off the ropes, clothesline, back elbow, tosses him to the ring apron. Cody hits the springboard missile dropkick, 1-2, Fandango kicks out. He goes for the whip, it's blocked. He goes for the whip again, it's blocked again. And this time, whip in and Fandango with the backstop. But instead of a back elbow like Goldust likes to throw, there's a head-on collision, like the back of the head and the top of the head. They collide between Cody and Fandango. So they both go down. This allows Goldust and Summer Rae to have an impromptu dance battle outside the ring. And Summer does a spin and she twists her ankle and she goes down. Fandango is distracted by this and he is left dumbfounded long enough for Cody to hit the beautiful disaster and get the 3 count. So, pretty much just continuing the feud of the Brotherhood against Fandango. Okay, sure, I guess. You know, if they were really wanting to do this, I would probably use Brandy as a counter to Summer Rae. And I think this is the right time to bring, I don't know, maybe bring Tyler Breeze into the main roster and have Fandango and Tyler Breeze feuding with the Brotherhood. I think that would be a great idea. And obviously there's a lot of differences between the characters. The fact remains, though, I think that they have enough chemistry that I think they could work really well as a team. And you could do something with him because, obviously, they really need to do something with everybody involved in this right now. The person that's actually getting pushed to this entire group right now is Summer Rae, and that's due to the fact that she's on this season of Total Divas, which, by the way, I do watch, obviously. And, because I love Summer Rae. But the thing about it is, Goldust is in the best shape of his career, having some of the best matches of his career, and of course he had that stinker against Fandango last week. But still, the fact remains is you have to understand the fact that you have Tyler Breeze, who you could bring up any time, him and Fandango teaming up with Summer Rae, and then you use the Brotherhood. You use reality to bring Brandy into it, of course, because don't forget, she's married to Cody, so it makes total sense. Use reality to bring her in, you have her counteract Summer Rae, we got ourselves a little feud, and I think that's a great direction to go. But then again, who knows? Maybe it could work. I think it could. Maybe something we could focus on after WrestleMania. Then again, there are a lot of NXT come-ups very soon, including Alexander Rusev, who's completely off this edition of Raw, which is really interesting. Then again, lately, he's been on SmackDown with his Podium of Doom. So, Hulk Hogan comes out, and he's going to introduce the special guest stars for the evening, promoting the very movie that AJ and I will be watching tomorrow night. Sabotage is the former Mr. Olympia. He was the governor of California, and what Hulk Hogan called the greatest action movie star of all time. It's actually The Miz said that too, but still, they both did. Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you would know him as a character from True Blood, which I don't know him, but he's Big Dick Ritchie in Magic Mike as Joe Manganiello. God, his name's so fun to say. And AJ, of course, will probably not mention his name very much, because we'll just call him Joey Mags or something. Oh, WCW reference. Did not mean to do that. For those of you that are paying attention, there you go. He's the new generation Joey Mags. So, he comes out, and he's basically going to put over WrestleMania, and the fact that he is the host of WrestleMania 30, and he says he's hyped to have Arnold and Joe at the event. Arnold gets on the mic, and Arnold, I'm going to say right now, when I looked at Arnold on this, Arnold looked like Larry Zbyszko. Not going to lie. I don't know if people are going to pick up on that, but Arnold looked like Larry Zbyszko. And the Larry Zbyszko that I worked the show with several years ago. So, Arnold's happy to be back, of course. 1 year ago, he inducted the great Bruno Sammartino into the WWE Hall of Fame. And today, he's in the ring with Hulk Hogan. He basically puts over Hogan's physique, and he's like waxes poetic about his deltoids and his biceps and his triceps. I almost thought I was listening to the Rocky Horror Show for a minute there. And Joe Manganiello is just pumped to be here hosting, of course, and to be in the ring with two icons and legends like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hulk Hogan. Arnold asks Hulk if there is any room for two more athletes in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Hogan thinks about it and says, you know what? Interruption. Now, I thought this would be Wade Barrett, and it made sense to be Wade Barrett. It's actually The Miz. The Miz comes out, and the fans are asked if they should be in the match. And of course they say yes, they want him in. And The Miz says, there's a different kind of reality here. You see, you guys are actors who play tough guys. For me, it's the absolute opposite. And you know what? I'm going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It's a simple fact. So, Hogan says, I'm going to give you a wake-up call. You're in Hogan country, of course, given the fact that we're in Brooklyn. It's a different borough, but it's still New York. And Miz says, you know what, you guys don't belong here. Talking about the stars of Sabotage, Joe and Arnold. And then he looks at Hogan and says, you know what, now you don't belong here either. So Joe is like, you know what, I'll handle this. He's like, okay, if you want us to get out of here, make us leave. He shoves the Miz. Miz goes to leave, of course he goes to attack, he gets gut-shotted twice, and Arnold does what I could basically describe as a bitch slap to the Miz. He just backhands him. That's it, straight up. His pimp hand is strong, apparently. So, he is the Terminator after all, come on. So, basically Hogan grabs the Miz, tosses him over the top rope to the floor, and that's the end of the segment. Okay. So we're promoting Sabotage with Arnold. Of course, it's a big deal, obviously. It's going to be covered on entertainment shows, like when a lot of the guest stars come out. And I'm sure this was no different. But it was interesting. Interesting to see what could happen. I didn't think Hogan was allowed to do anything physical, including grab someone by the hair and toss him over the top rope. Maybe things have changed. So here's what I'm thinking. You did the stuff with the Miz. It's already there. Miz could be the perfect backup plan for the storyline. Here's what I would do. If you're looking at it, I think on Raw this week, this Monday night in a couple days, Wade Barrett comes out and berates Hulk Hogan. Wade Barrett comes out on SmackDown and berates Hulk Hogan. Wade Barrett comes out during WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan's music interrupts him. Said he's tired of this. I'm tired of hearing you run your mouth about each and every person. We're just trying to make a living, brother. Stuff like that. And you do like a 3-minute encounter where Wade Barrett and Hulk Hogan face off. You don't have to have a match or anything. You just have an altercation where Hogan comes down, interrupts Wade Barrett, tosses him in the ring. Yeah, that's what we do. He's on the podium. It's not raising for whatever reason. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to come down to your level, obviously. That's what we did last time. Hogan comes out, interrupts Barrett, grabs him by the hair, tosses him into the ring after walking him down the ramp or the aisleway, depending on what they're using this year. I'm sure it'll probably be a ramp. And tosses him into the ring. He does the U and the 3 punches and the big foot, and then he clotheslines him over the top rope and big pop. Hogan poses, Barrett's embarrassed, and he gets a great rub for working with Hogan. Kind of like what they did with Mark Capani when he was doing the Muhammad Hassan gimmick, which didn't really work. But this could actually work, and it will benefit Wade Barrett in the long run. That's what I would go. That's the direction I would go with this. Or, if, like I said, you want to use the plan that's already been pretty much laid out, you do the same thing, and you have maybe Hulk Hogan eliminate The Miz in the Battle Royal. Do that. Or potentially Hogan is included in the Battle Royal. He's one of the last 4 guys that no one realized was going to be there. And of course, he underhandedly gets tossed out so he can't win. Or you go a completely different way. I would not say Hogan would win the Battle Royal if he's involved. But, I mean, that's a direction to go. I'm not sure if they're going to go that direction or not. Probably not, but you have seeds that are planted right now. So, the least you can do is water them a little bit to see if they possibly could grow. So, excuse me. Titus O'Neil comes out and he faces off against the Big Show. Pretty much just like an elongated squash here. And basically, Titus got the upper hand for a bit. And he gets stopped. And he gets harpooned by the Big Show. WMD finishes it. That's it. So the Shield show up talking to Triple H and Stephanie. They're wondering where they stand. And wondering why the Outlaws and Kane attacked them. And since they're boys with you and all, obviously you probably know what's going on. And they're like, well, if your issue with them is with them. And we just want to know what's going on. But if it's vengeance that you're seeking tonight, we'll give you a match against the Real Americans to get your frustrations out. And we'll sit down after the match and we'll discuss this. And everyone's like, yeah, we'll discuss this. You believe that. So, as I drop my notes here, this looks wonderful. Hey! So, we get a WCW moment. I even call this a WCW moment. John Cena is at a sink, getting ready for his match. All of a sudden he looks up, just like in a horror movie, or WCW. Basically, you see the sheep mask just staring at him at the side, like kind of looking over at Cena. He thinks he sees something, and when he looks back up, it's gone. Yay, WCW! So, we got another match. It is a rematch from this past Friday's SmackDown, which is John Cena against Luke Harper of the Wyatt family. The match on SmackDown was awesome. This match got a lot more time, and it was really, really good. So, we go midway through the match. He comes off the ropes, ducks the clothesline, and Cena goes for his sequence in the shoulder block. But this time, just like on SmackDown, he gets caught going for the shoulder block the second time, and planted with an inverted atomic drop from Luke Harper. He mows him over the big boot, 1-2, and a kick out. 2 stiff uppercuts, and the third time gets countered into a... Well, this depends on how you're seeing it. I'm sure the crowd could have told me exactly what I saw. But it looked like it was setting up for a backdrop suplex. But when he landed it, he had his waist locked. So it was kind of like a backdrop suplex, German suplex combination, somewhat. That's the best way to describe it. Cena goes for the AA, and he gets countered. Super kick takes off Cena's head. 1-2, and Cena kicks out. So he goes for the discus lariat, and of course, Cena ducks out of it. Proto Bomb, and he sets up for the 5-knuckle shuffle, and he gets back kicked in the face by Harper, and caught with the Michinoku driver off the ropes. 1-2, and a kick out. He's going for the sit-out powerbomb. Cena with an awkward run out of it, and drop toe hold, going for the STF, and Harper kicks him off with so much ferocity that he knocks him out of the ring. Harper gets up, charges in, nails Cena with a tope, pops the entire crowd, tosses him back in, makes a cover, and before he can do so, he gets leg picked and STF. So Harper rakes the eyes, kicks Cena in the knee, drops him down with a DDT, 1-2, Cena kicks out. So, 2 gut shots, puts him on the top turnbuckle. A big right hand, he climbs up, going for a superplex. And he sets up going for a double arm superplex. Cena breaks his grip, because he's Superman after all. 3 big right hands, knocks Harper off to the canvas below. And the leg drop to the back of the neck, 1-2, and a kick out. Ducks the right hand, and Proto Bomb, 5-knuckle shuffle. AA this time countered to the backdrop suplex into the face buster. 1-2, and a kick out. I believe Adam Flash used to do that back in the day, too. So, Cena explodes out of the corner with a massive lariat. And pretty much just starts shaking his hand. It's a little thing sometimes, because he used so much power hitting Harper as hard as humanly possible that he could have broke his hand. It's possible. So he goes for the AA, and we have the interruption. Lights are out. ECW style lights are out. When the lights come back on, Bray Wyatt is sitting on the ring apron behind John Cena, who is tangled up in the ropes, unconscious, with the sheep mask on his head. This looked awesome in every single way possible. The crowd let him have it. They were chanting this is awesome like crazy because it was a cool moment to see. It was a great visual. And of course, Bray stands tall over John Cena yet again. So that's awesome. And we continue this awesome program between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Our next matchup really never got started. It's Naomi sporting her starry eye patch, taking on the Divas champion AJ Lee with Tamina Snuka, who is still at ringside with AJ even after they all pretty much broke up last week, but I think this is going to lead to it completely. AJ mocks the eye injury, she gets drop kicked and whip in reverse, catches the high kick and ducks the clothesline, going for the rear view. AJ powders and is like, you know what? Screw this, I'm done. Vicky Guerrero comes out. Didn't take too kindly to some things that she said on commentary about her on SmackDown. So she basically says, you know what? I got you fired from Raw, and you stole my boyfriend, and the fact remains, AJ, simply you're a real bitch. Crowd's like, oh, good God. So at WrestleMania, you will compete in the Vicky Guerrero Divas Divas Championship Invitational against Naomi, Cameron, Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, Eva Marie, Natalya, Emma, Oksana, I'm shocked is in this match, Alicia Fox, Summer Rae, Rosa Mendez, Layla, and, saving her for last, Tamina. So yes, we're getting a Divas Invitational. And from what I've heard, this is not going to be what it needs to be. What this needs to be is like the old hardcore invitational matches. And be like, you know, they could have like 50,000 champions crowned. Like, once a 3 count is administered, that person is champion, and the person who is the champion at the end of the time limit will win the championship. No. Here's what they're doing. This will be a multi-diva cluster that will basically end with, theoretically speaking, a brand new Divas champion. We've been building to it. AJ's lost clean way too many times. Either A, she's going to retain, which I think the odds are pretty much not in her favor at this point, or she does retain and she loses it to someone else. See, the thing what I would do here is I would have AJ win. And then AJ's like, I have no competition. And this very familiar music would hit. Lita would come out. Lita would face AJ. Lita would beat AJ. And take the Divas Championship. Toss it down on Raw Monday night and say, you know what? We don't need this championship. There's only one women's championship. And she raises the old WWE Women's Championship. There's an issue with that. Obviously, you're not going to go that direction. 2, AJ wins, and AJ faces anybody. It ends up being Paige. And Paige is the one who takes out AJ. Don't think that's going to happen either. You can talk about Trish Stratus and all sorts of other things. It may just be, like I said, one match, and that's the end of it. But with the way everything has been going, you would think that either Natalya or one of the Bella twins is going to win this. Natalya makes the most sense to me, because they really could use it to propel this season of Total Divas if you have Natalya having her big moment, WrestleMania 30, has AJ in the sharpshooter, makes her tap out, and wins the Divas Championship. That's probably the direction we're going, and if I had to put money on it, I think that is the direction we're going. We introduced our final inductee in the 2014 WWE Hall of Fame class. It's the bad guy, Razor Ramon. Not Scott Hall. Razor Ramon. The WWF Razor Ramon. You know, the 4-time Intercontinental Champion. The man who has 2 of the most outstanding ladder matches with Shawn Michaels in history. The member of the Clique. The man who put Sean Waltman on the map. Literally. Yes, Razor Ramon. This is why I like this idea. Because they're bringing him in as Razor Ramon. You obviously know that eventually the Outsiders are going to get inducted. And eventually they're going to induct the New World Order as a unit. Which I think will be great when that actually does happen. Because you have the Horsemen to Generation X and the New World Order all in the WWE Hall of Fame that way. And that is something that would work really well. So with that, we finally have our 7 inductees in the 2014 WWE Hall of Fame. This is, I guess you would say, retribution. Like, so many people in this Hall of Fame had so much heat with WWE back in the day. Now things have changed, so they're all being inducted. And pretty much all in the same year. It's the Ultimate Warrior, it's Jake the Snake Roberts, it's Carlos Colon, it's Paul Bearer, it's Mr. T, it's Lita, and it's finally Razor Ramon. I'm wondering why they didn't induct Demolition this year, honestly. I thought the Demolition would be the right final inductee. Not final inductees, but I'm surprised they're not the tag team that got inducted this year. Because there wasn't a tag team that got inducted this year. I mean, you have your headliners, you have your manager, you have your valet, or female talent, or both, and you have your celebrity. You don't have a tag team this year. It's very strange. Obviously, sometimes you have your international star, which obviously gets him thrown in as well. So my throat is killing me. Main event time. It is the Shield, this time tandem of Seth Rollins and the longest reigning champion in the WWE right now, the United States champion Dean Ambrose, taking on the Real Americans Jack Swagger and Cesaro. This match was awesome too, because all 4 of these guys can go. Let's go midway through the match, shall we? And Cesaro locks on a front chancery on Dean Ambrose. Ambrose punches his way out, and a knee up, Swiss uppercut, turning into a backslide by Ambrose, 1-2 and a kick out. And he kicks him in the knee, 2 slaps. Ambrose like, hit me again. So he really is channeling the Joker here. Ambrose once more. Cesaro kicks him in the face, knocks him back into the ropes, and he whiplashes back and hits Nigel McGuinness's Jawbreaker Lariat on Cesaro. Double tag into Rollins and Swagger, and ducks the clothesline. Rollins, the House of Fire, drop kicks Cesaro off the ring apron. Swagger charges, gets the boot up, and a big chop, right hand, and a straight kick to the face. Drop kick by Rollins, and he nails the charging forearm in the corner and catches him with a flatliner in the middle turnbuckle. 1-2 and a kick out. Seth with a monkey flip sends Cesaro over the top rope to the floor. Ducks the clothesline and a clothesline of his own. Sends Swagger over the top rope to the floor. Nails the tope on Cesaro. The tope con hilo onto Jack Swagger. So he's got the crowd eating out of his hand at this point. Tosses him back in. 1-2 and no. So he hits the springboard knee strike. Cesaro makes the save. Ambrose gets in the ring, pounds away, and he catches him with a modified exploder over the top to the floor. So Rollins with a clothesline sends Cesaro over. He gets tossed up in the air, locked into the Patriot Lock, and rope break. So barely able to make it. So he gets caught and catches Swagger with the leaping kick and going for the blackout, which is now called the Peace of Mind, and gets the 3 count off. But Cesaro kicks Seth Rollins, tosses him out of the ring, and Cesaro gets nailed with a Superman punch from Roman Reigns. Roman spears Cesaro on the floor. They set up Cesaro for the triple powerbomb. They put him through the table, and Kane's pyro goes off. He comes out with the Outlaws, all wearing suits, and he makes the official announcement for the 6-man tag. He says, "We're going to annihilate you. Believe that." So it's really funny because you see the Shield, they're dressed in their riot gear, and then you see Kane and the New Age Outlaws, and they're wearing suits. Now, only in wrestling would you have this situation happen. You have the Shield look like they're ready to fight, and you have three guys in three-piece suits just saying, you know what, we're going to take you guys out. So, who would you think is more of a threat here? The guys in the suits or the guys in the riot gear? So yeah, the match is going to be so-so, but it's official for WrestleMania, so I guess we're going to have to talk about it eventually. So we get our final segment of the evening, and this is the big-time talkie-talkie segment of the evening, of course. This is the final Brock Lesnar Undertaker segment to go with what happened on Main Event, obviously. Paul Heyman's life was threatened on Main Event, so we have to have this on Raw. Paul Heyman says, you know what, it's not just a streak. No, it's an undefeated streak. John Cena, Andre the Giant, not even Brock Lesnar himself couldn't go 21-0. None of them can now. At WrestleMania, it is the showcase of the Immortals. One era will end and one will begin. So basically Heyman's talking and Brock just grabs the mic at one point and says, you know what, enough, Paul. We're both here, let's fight. So, you're here, I'm here, let's do this. Of course, he likes to yell, because that's what Brock Lesnar does now, apparently. We get the Druids coming out. They push a casket to ringside. And Lesnar kicks it, making sure it's real, I guess. And then he stomps it, trying to make sure the Undertaker's inside, of course, which is what he believes is be true. He finally gets froggy and decides he wants to jump a little bit, and he opens the casket. Nothing inside. The Druids bomb out. See, back in the ring, Paul Heyman makes it known that the streak is simply the Holy Grail. And basically, Brock gets mad because he's trying to make a fool out of him. So yeah, that's pretty much what he's doing here. Next thing you know, the casket starts to move. The lid opens. Undertaker sits right up. Heyman has the fear of God inside him, and he bombs out smartly. Lesnar and Undertaker finally go at it, and he gets clotheslined over the top rope to the floor, lands on the casket, mind you, and that is the end of the show. They're both pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and that's how we go home on Raw. Mixed bag, it really was. So, if I had to tell you what to recommend here, I'd recommend the Fatal 4-Way between Christian, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, and Alberto Del Rio. I recommend the Wyatt promo, as always. I recommend Triple H's sit-down chat with Michael Cole. I would say that it would be worth checking out the Luke Harper-John Cena match, for sure. And the Shield and the Real Americans. So yeah, that's definitely what I would recommend on this show. Like I said, it was a mixed bag. Another thing I want to discuss here is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And as of Raw, now this may change on SmackDown, but I don't know. Or next week on Raw, or next week on SmackDown. We officially have a list of competitors for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And the list is as followed. The World's Strongest Man, Mark Henry. Kofi Kingston. Cody Rhodes. The Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. Christian, Fandango, Jinder Mahal, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Damian Sandow, Heath Slater, The Miz, Goldust, the Intercontinental Champion Big E, The Big Show, Alberto Del Rio, Titus O'Neil, the return of Brodus Clay, apparently, No Days Off Darren Young, Justin Gabriel, R-Truth, Rey Mysterio, The Great Khali, Santino Marella, Sin Cara, and Zack Ryder. 4 slots remaining. Anyone's guess who's getting those. Could it be somebody like an Alexander Rusev? Could it be somebody like a Rob Van Dam? Could it be a surprise like the Ultimate Warrior or potentially Hulk Hogan? If he's able to do anything. He's allowed to do anything like that. It's anyone's guess. And if Christian is legitimately injured, then you would think that his spot's going to be given away in the Battle Royal as well. So who takes his spot? Lots of questions to be answered right now. So that was Raw, and like I said, it was a good show. Some good matches on the show. I'll check those 4 matches. Check those out. And I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what tomorrow's video is, so I guess you'll see it when it comes up. So I don't know what we're going to talk about. So later this week, we're going to be talking about SmackDown. And as we progress on Monday night, I will be watching Raw, and Tuesday we'll recap Raw. And it sounds like that Wednesday is going to be NXT, like it normally is. Don't know what's going to happen on Thursday. That next Saturday is going to be SmackDown. And of course, I will be doing my annual video game simulation of the pay-per-view. I'll be doing that very soon. And I will be talking about my results of that probably on my Twitter, to be totally honest. So we'll do that. And of course, April 6th, WrestleMania. April 5th is the Hall of Fame on the WWE Network, which I cannot wait to watch. And April 6th, WrestleMania. So it's going to be a huge, huge deal. Huge week coming up. It is WrestleMania week as of next week, so we can't wait to talk about that. So I will give my official WrestleMania predictions after SmackDown's video. I know, I was like, you're copping out, you're going to wait till the last minute. Yeah, I kind of want to see what the direction of the final show before WrestleMania is going to be. So, in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. If you'd like to like our Facebook fan page, Sir Owen Disney Pop. If you'd like to be my friend on Facebook, it's Owen Disney. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter and find out what my results of my WWE 2K14 simulation of WrestleMania 30 are, then you're more than welcome to tweet me at Sir Owen Disney. Last but certainly not least, you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions, ideas you have for Pop. If you want to become a Popcaster yourself, you have anything you would like to send my way, you're more than welcome to do so at SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. So, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.